Jamaica. Well, you don't need a visa in order to enter Jamaica. All you just need is that landing, and every country, to my understanding, will have some form of
Registry.
yeah, just so that they know who's in their country and who's not. So you've already jumped
Like the landing card and all them things there.
yeah. So it is just literally a landing card.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
remember.
looking at it from the opposite side in terms of as a Jamaican leaving Jamaica and going and to another country, as in the UK, and potentially the hoops that a traveller may need to go through in order to
I
get
do
the
recall,
visa in the first instance.
I do recall when I visited America on a brief occasion. Right, they did a retinal scan.
Yeah, America's more America. There is a charge for their entry, and I think there's also a charge in terms of Canada for their entry.
Mm.
Um, just in terms of, and once you arrive in America, yeah, they're going to do the only thing they don't take is your blood, but they do fingerprints and um, they do eyeball test
Mm,
and
mm,
scan. But yeah, their borders have always been, and because of their history and what they do and what they've done and who they've upset and who's not upset with them,
mm,
they've always been very strict in terms of who they're allowing in.
mm,
Um,
mm.
Jamaica, in terms of PICA, is saying that they're just catching up with other areas of the world in terms
Really.
of doing away with the paper-based
Mm,
um, entry into Jamaica, and they're just it's computers are talking, regardless which country you go to,
mm,
computers are
mm. No matter where
talking.
you go, that is the way how it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the medical, it's in the banking, it's in the flights, it's yeah,
Mm,
it's part of the new landscape for travel into
mm,
Jamaica and other countries in the world.
mm, mm. Well, yeah, you know what? That's how it is. That's how it is right from now on. So,
Mm.
anything else? Any other news? Local news? Anything?
There was something that, and I can't understand why you'd want to do it, but they had a fleet of new buses um, brought onto, or purchased, that would enable the travellers to have more options rather than stand at a bus stop and then it's 6 million of you trying to get 3 seats. And it does feel like that sometimes, the way it's
I know, I know, I know.
with more buses, they in theory will bear to it's only 2 million of you after the 3 seats.
Mm,
So they've got new buses that come on. It's schools have just opened up, so they've brought it on for September to recognise that there's going to be a mass heave in September. And I can't understand, but they've got reports of people just stoning the buses,
the what?
throwing stones at the buses.
What's all this? What's that?
So I don't get it. And just in terms of speaking it out aloud now, I'm thinking to myself, you don't do that in the UK, but no, they're in the UK they just tag the buses, they just put graffiti on buses and or
Okay,
tubes, and
okay.
but in Jamaica they just stoned it.
So it's the
But they,
so
so
the
they
young
do
it's the youngsters that's doing this, or
saying that they don't know who's doing it. But
mm,
the challenging thing is that it's not the bus that's sitting in the depot
it's
like
the
you
ones
would
that's
get the
driving on the
train.
road.
This is someone that's driving. This is a bus driver driving on the road and they're stoning the bus.
Oh
So
boy.
there's a few sick people out there. So some of the things that they've spoken about,
Mm,
and in the UK, it's an easier form of technology, as in it's linked up and they have the funds in
mm,
order to make
mm.
it happen.
Have
In
they
the
have
UK,
they
there's cameras
have
on the bus.
they curtailed the wild driving that some of these bus drivers have been known to do?
So the I think that might be a prerequisite to for application that you can do it. It's not. It's just that you're not called to do it. So they are aiming to ensure then that bus drivers and or taxi drivers, because they're the ones that drive a little bit more wilder,
Mm.
a lot wilder. But there are designated stops. So the taxi drivers have a rule to their own. So some of them are good, and the majority of them are good. There has to be a majority that are good, but because you've got such a minority that are bad, they will always highlight the worst of the taxi drivers and the bus and the mini van drivers. They've got the loud music. The children, it appears, like to travel in that rather than the designated school buses because they can all sit on each other's lap, have conversation, eat food, and listen to the latest tunes loudly. So they see that as an exciting thing. But in terms of the bus drivers, there are some good ones, there are some bad ones. They are less inclined to stop anywhere, but some of them do stop anywhere. They don't, because there's no such thing as designated stop. So there's a convenient and a logical place, and using your indicators so the rest of the world know what you're doing helps, but it doesn't always happen in that smooth transition. So that's something that's happening. To me, it doesn't make sense, but like I said, in talking about it out aloud, it appears that in the UK that there's put graffiti on a standing bus in a shelter overnight rather than a moving bus. Okay, you can't beat a moving bus after all, can you? That'd be a bit of a challenge.
Well, UK are the most expensive traveling service in Europe and most of the world. So
they still have that tag.
uh-huh.
Yes, I believe they still have that tag. I know that they were fighting for it earlier on.
I think it's going to go up a bit more as well because they're even thinking of banning or taking away the senior citizens pass. So that the seniors have to pay as well.
Okay.
You know? Right. Okay. So that's on the table.
Well, right? they're talking about fares and increases of fares across the board in Jamaica, and they're talking about rather than like a 2% hike, they're talking about like a 30 or 40% hike in fares, which in of itself may not appear a lot for us who have saved all year, worked hard all year to come out to Jamaica to have 2 weeks holiday, 4-week vacation. It may not appear a lot. You're thinking, okay, I'm just jumping in a taxi, and it's going to cost me rather than $120, which is pence. It's now going to cost me $200, which still is just a pound and a 10 pence. You may think to yourself, okay, what are the locals complaining about?
No. Proportionally to wage.
That's high. That's high.
Yeah. Proportional to wages, man. You know, and you can't come in there with your foreign currency and feel say, oh, everybody I live at my level.
Yeah.
It's not so. It's not so. You know one of the exercises that people should try and do is try to live 2 or 3 days on what the income of what a national would have. You know, when you travel and then you go, all right then, well, you know, we have £100. Have £100 of my thing. I know what he's gonna say. I know he's gonna say that your volume is low. Yes, brother Icon, bless up.
Rise of peace and love, Aston.
Please.
Rise of the Empress and your peace and love to you.
Greetings.
Yes. Well, you got to get into it. Now, Sister Sandra's been hitting some points today.
Yeah.
So, you know, talking about the London digital system that they're bringing in Jamaica. You know what I mean? And even moving on to the minibus on the situation, it just kind of brings me back. To be quite honest, Sister Sandra, I've left Jamaica over 20 odd years now.
Whoa.
And even when I speak to my mom the other day and I ask her the fear that the taximan charges from, because you know, sometimes in Jamaica, the bus might take you to a point. If you take the bus or you have a taxi take you to the point, like to the square, and then you can get another taxi from the square to go to your yard or something. So, and I asked her about the price, and she told me it's like the same price, and I was surprised. So realistically, the fear, from my knowledge over the years, has not really increased a lot in Jamaica because most of the liquor routes that the taxman takes is the same money they're charging from the time I left till now, from my overstanding. So that hike that you're talking about of probably 30%, I don't know if it's going to put out the pressure, but I mean, I think it's kind of overdue, to be quite honest, especially the cost of living and the part of the petrol and the maintenance of the vehicle has gone significantly high since that. So I hope it kind of leveled itself out, but, from my knowledge of that, it's been a while. And, also, Brother Aston, I covered a show a few months ago talking about the increase in immigration fee. The UK system right now, when I totally checked it, it could cost you about £10,000 to apply from start to get your indefinite leave to remain.
£10,000.
£10,000, and they're asking you to pay £1,000 because you have to do 3 applications. So every time you have to pay £1,000 upfront for medical fees for the NHS. So you have to pay £1 for every application that you're doing upfront, so you can be able to access the NHS. So there's a lot of hike in the prices. And, funny enough, I live out of London, and I was calculating it costs you more to travel on the train to come into London most of the time, wherever you're coming from. And if you were supposed to put some petrol in your car to drive, it would be a lot cheaper. But anyhow, the trick with that now, they've got the ULEZ, they've got the congestion charges, and paying for parking in London is ridiculous. So it's like everything is increasing on all fronts. So you don't even know which, if you do your time, if you don't, you don't know which direction to go.
You better start feed up the donkey.
No, you just get out of the bike. Get out of the bike.
Well, something. Obviously, the effects of that, because I've been living in the inner part of the London area, right? And just non-compliant. I have a non-compliant vehicle anyhow, right? But even that alone, it has impacted so many people, and you can see it by the traffic or the lack of traffic that is on the roads now, because like living by a main arterial road, meaning one of the main roads that go in and out of London, right? You will, at times of the day, you will find that there's no traffic on there at all, right? Because all you're seeing is just the commercial vehicles, is a taxi, bus, or the work vehicles, right? And the thing is that is what it's like right across the inner London. Now, obviously, they spread it to the outer skirts of London now, and those people who utilize the vehicles to travel around as freely as they used to, all of a sudden, as soon as them step into their car, it costs them an extra £15 or £12. Yeah. You understand? And over a month period, that's like over £350, £400. Again, you understand? So it's not an easy life. No, it's not an easy life. Mind where you want to put your hat now, my people.
I want to come in on what you said, because I did a show on Tuesday about the ULEZ, but from what I've said so far, I would love to hear what Sister Sandra said, and then I want to give you some points on the ULEZ, because I did a show on it on Tuesday to show you what's going on with it. But yeah, I would love to hear from Sister Sandra. But before you come into Sandra, funny enough, I was thinking about you talking about the bus and the music, yeah, because I remember I used to go to high school, so I used to go to Excelsior, so it's that type of buzz. And I was even talking to someone the other day, because I was thinking to put a bus on the road down there, a taxi, and talking about what kind of vehicle to get. And everybody said, well, listen, if you don't get a vehicle that's kind of newish and it has proper sound system in it and it looks good, because Jamaican people, I think African people now, they got a special look for things looking good. And if you give any African money, the first thing he's going to do is either fix up his house, or he's going to fix up himself in terms of what he's going to wear, or he's going to get a nice car. It's just that high. So in Jamaica, if your vehicle don't really look good, that's young people will not go into it, most people won't go into it. You have to have that music pumping out, you have to have your stickers on your car needs to look clean, wash all the time, to tint the windows and put writings on it or whatever. It has to have that look, because if you have a normal car or a taxi or a bus, they won't take it. Am I right, Sister Sandra?
You're on that one because it looks like there are either school buses and or preferred designated transport for, especially the children who are in town, as in Kingston, and they're not taking those designated or preferred transport. They are saying that those children really and truly want to get into the cars, the minibuses, that it's the music that's pumping. It's the vibe, it's the energy, and the drivers are not necessarily always the best, more courteous drivers. But those children will be prepared to sit and be packed in like sardines. But my perception is they teach them young that that's the way to travel. So that means as they grow older and they get bigger, the vehicles aren't increasing in size, but they're still aiming to support. You've got a standard car, 5 seats. Everyone's got their own seats. You've got 2 people at the front, other than the driver. The man is not the one in the middle. He's normally the one by the window, and you've got the woman in the middle, and then you've got 4 people in the back. And then if you've got a boot space, you've got someone in the boot space. And if it's a little person, it's going to be in the boot space. And you're thinking, no, we're in the 2023. You guys are crying that you want an increase in your fares. You're not treating the paying passengers with the courtesy of, give me at least some space, a little leg room, a little arm room. One taxi driver yesterday was saying, unofficially, what he's going to do is on his route is that if people are traveling, he's going to charge them the fare that the government say to charge. But if they want to carry load, as in shopping or extra this, that, and the other, he's going to start charging them for it to make up the difference. So if he's thinking like that, there's going to be other taxi drivers looking to be creative with the charging. I would say that the cost of travel has gone up. It's always gone up by percent, 1%, 2%. Because I know the difference of when it used to be $90 to get into 40, when it went up to $100, 110, now it's at 120. Yeah, it's not a lot. So in the increase, they're looking at 40% rather than 1% or 2%. But the discussions are still happening.
You raised some very good point, and sorry to cut into you quickly. You see, it's so embedded in the culture, because as you're talking about traveling, it's like it's been taught that way, and when you get older, the same thing, because you will get the JUTC bus, one of those big white bus, full of spaces, and the bus stop is packed with children. They will not get on that bus because it hasn't got music in there, and one of the most important things is the air condition. If you have a bus and you got air condition, or a taxi and air conditioner, you will get people in all the time, especially if you got music in it. So it's like mentally they're kind of, you say about what he has been told that that's the way you need to travel. And unfortunately, what you're talking about situation with price increase, if they're packing the buses and the cars so much, I can imagine what the increase, what the price increase goes on. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's they need a price increase so they don't have to pack the car so much. Maybe that will make a difference. So I don't know.
It's not going to curtail the traveling. It's not going to curtail the traveling, man.
There's a mindset and a way of traveling that the locals accept. Now, if I get in a car and someone's joining me in the front seat, I'm getting out. It's not negotiable. I can wait. I'll walk. But they're prepared to say, okay, let's shift over. See, even the driver, it's a good thing that they're using automatic, because if they were using stick, it couldn't happen, because they only need one leg to move. And once they put it in drive, they're good to go. But it's the fact that the driver is uncomfortable, but the way that they're packing it, and you're thinking, no. But yeah, in terms of the car, music, tinting, lights, there's some fancy lights that are going on these cars. And it's, again, I like the fact that all of the drivers are very conscientious about this thing called clean. You don't see, it's the odd car that's dirty rather than the odd car that's clean. So I like the fact that on a daily basis, and whilst they're in between their jobs, they will often find a stream or find somewhere where they can wash their car. So I like that fact. But the rest of it, no. So Yeah, there's a mindset.
I know I haven't been down there for quite a while now, so I know. So when I'm going to go down there, I'll probably get a rude awakening, probably get an argument at the airport as well, straight away, you know. And then I'll get vexed and then go hire my own vehicle, a Rockstone, and then complain about the price of that.
Yeah, I've looked at doing that, and that turns out expensive, but it might turn out cheaper when you weigh up the comfort.
Less headache and everything else, and convenience of everything, isn't it?
But that's the reason why the Knutsford, in theory, can be doing better than it is, but it doesn't necessarily have to, because it's got boot space, and boot space becomes luggage, and luggage and parcels are more. There's more money in the parcels rather than the people.
I see. Oh, okay. So, yes, as we were discussing as well, we have to come back to that conversation well, over the next couple of days. Anyhow, we have to go find out what I'll go on with that. Yes, sir. Right, Brother Icon, you have anything else to add to us us?
Yes, so just adding quickly, so I did that on Tuesday, but that's the most.
No problem.
Job Canyon system I could ever see. So people are really pushing back on the ULEZ, and other people are destroying the cameras. They're saying the most cameras is being destroyed in South London. So one of the bars people are going out and destroy, because when you think about it, they did a study in the university, and they studied worldwide about the 60 ULEZ thing that I want to bring in. And everybody say it doesn't make sense, because if you have vehicle maybe 100 miles or 50 miles out of London that's polluted, how can you stop the wind from blowing that pollution over London? So why are you going to charge people in that area, for clean air? So this thing is about money making. It's causing a lot of across the country. Yes. You know, so people looking at it as one thing, people using it, because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And right now you're saying they're trying to extend it in all of London, and the outer cities now, Glasgow and those places, Birmingham, they want I don't even see the article that Birmingham City Council is declaring bankruptcy. Did you see the article that come out in the news?
No. I haven't noticed that one.
Yeah, so it's something you can look at. And I also send you the links for the visa trade. I send it to them links to your WhatsApp, so you can have a look at the price and you can see how much it's gone about. So probably can discuss that.
All right.
For sure.
There is one other argument that was recently said about the ULEZ, right? It crossed my mind, mainly because I was in that industry. I was working in that industry, and the leaps and bounds what they have done to control the toxins what come out of vehicles, right, has been tremendous, right? And even to the extent of where to the knowledge that I know, right, that the diesel vehicles were outperforming the petroleum vehicles, right, for toxicity, right? And remember, each vehicle is required to do an MOT, right? So therefore, that is the requirement on the governmental national guideline, right? Now the mayor is overriding that and saying that these vehicles are not compliant. So therefore, what is he saying? What's he saying is that his standard is more higher than the one what is out there, and what is their measurement of that standard? Right? There's no measurement of the standard. All they've done is just ageism. Yeah, right. Which again is not right. It's not right. You know. So, but you know what? they're making up their rules as they go along. So therefore,
my brother.
You know. So it's to bring that to court. Yes, Sister Sandra.
Well, as historically, I've always felt that in terms of money making, drivers in the UK, regardless of which part of the UK, you are the equivalent of a cash cow.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Every now and again, things change, but it never changes in your benefit. It always changes where there's an additional cost, a little squeeze here and a little squeeze there. So to travel in and around London, and or the other major cities is now becoming, and to some senses, why are they killing the goose that lays the golden egg? Because you are keeping large, humongous parts of the economy going. But
Well,
they're
if it wasn't for the taxations of the roads, allegedly, there would be no roads. Right?
It goes into other things. It goes into the health service and other areas of the economy, but it's just the fact that you seem to be forever squeezed. You don't appear to be given any, and like you say, as they improve the vehicles, the emissions, electric vehicles, yada yada, you don't seem to be getting any breaks with any of these new improvements. As they improve it, then they find the goalpost moves again. And you think, hang on a minute, they've just painted those lines. Why is it all of a sudden they're erasing them and moving them left and right?
You say that we're on the county borders of like the Lewisham and Southwark area, and it seems like every other month they're retarmacking that piece of road there. So, but you drive around the borough and there's some roads what has been never touched for years down there, but every other month they're doing that frontline business there, right? They do one side of the road and then they do the other side of the road, and I know, guarantee over the next couple of months, right? They'll be doing exactly the same. Even now on the Southwark side, they got half the dug up already there, so for whatever reason, we don't know. But that's the tennis that they play. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's travel, whether it's in the UK or whether it's in Jamaica and or across the seas. It's a talking point, and the playing field does not appear to be level for the traveller, regardless of how you're doing it. Whether you're coming by plane to Jamaica, cost of airfare. You've got a new carrier that's coming online, but I don't know whether or not they're starting to. They may be starting to take money, but I know when I was looking, they're not traveling before the end of the year. But all they just do is carve up the route.
Yep.
Keep the prices the same and just carve up the route.
As they are doing. Everybody's trying to hustle one piece out of whatever. They're trying to make a whole piece of pie out of crumbs. At the moment. And yeah, that is just between our places. There's plenty of islands out there which we yet to investigate and look into as well, to see what's going on in those places there. I met somebody, right, and it was just a passing encounter, and they were saying that their father had retired from Canada, and he retired and he went back to Haiti, right? And even as they were saying it, I thought, wow, that would be a really good interview to have, right? But as I was thinking about it, I thought, well, that's kind of imposing to ask this person to get their father to call a complete stranger that they've never known before, But then again, hopefully in the future we'll be able to get some interviews on that. Like what is the situation in Haiti at this particular time, because we know that they had a devastating time, through the hurricanes and the earthquakes and everything. What are they doing to restore themselves back into some kind of functionality over there? And also remembering that although we talk as Haiti as if it's a separate entity to the Republic of Dominica, right? Why are they separated? Why are we talking as if they are, or we have that feeling of that they are a separate entity, meanwhile they're the same island? Huh? Why? But then again, who knows why and whatever. And let's see if we can get some communality here as well. Brother Icon, do you have any views on that for the last couple of minutes here?
Yeah, buddy, you're touching on something. I was just thinking about it with the roadworks, and we know these people have their budget and they have to try and spend as much each year. But then again, are we thinking about what they're planting under those road surfaces? Because these people are some high science, And I live out of the UK and I travel to a lot of what we call a white neighborhood here. Not saying they don't do roadworks, but to the extent where our people are specialists are concentrated all the time, you're seeing roadworks being digged up and they're putting in this and putting in that. And you drive through some of these white neighborhoods and you can say that they don't do any work there for years and years. So it's a very good point you made. It's a question there. What are they actually putting in those asphalt?
Listen, I'm very aware because like even now they have technology. Basically, I can talk because I've done my period of non-disclosure, right? Any vehicle that has any form of internet interaction, right? They know your vehicle, they know your identification, and they can immobilize your vehicle remotely. Right?
Well, you remember when they had the old phones and they were saying everybody to bring the old phone in? Right, the same thing, the cars. Now you see, they're trying to get rid of all the old cars. They want all the cars that you see are computerized, and most of these new cars are computerized.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I agree with this, and it ties in with the 15-minute city. You know what the 15-minute city thing that they're talking about? You know what 15-minute city?
Yeah.
So if there's a car that's computerized, they can always see your journey where you're traveling. So
That's right.
It's all interlinked.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna bring in a charge per mile now, or charge per usage." Right? They're gonna scrap the congestion charge and all them things there, and they bring in charge per usage. Right? So all them man they who used to go up and cruise up and down all day and all them business there, no problem. We'll just charge your backside for that.
And look what them catch people have known by that stuff. Because you have an electric car, if you don't want to adhere, they'll switch off the car.
Exactly. No, but
so you have to pay the money if you want to drive.
That is literally it. And if they're looking for anybody and they want to capture you or whatever, they can automatically lock your car.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so don't be fooled by any of this type of thing there, and get comfortable with life in that way there, right?
So advice to the people then, go and find an old school car and buy them.
Well,
it's the only chance you have. Buy a classic.
No, it's true. It's an actual fact because I was working on that technology long before. You understand? About they make it sound like, oh, it's a convenience. Oh, look, the car can drive by itself. Oh, it can park by itself. Right. Listen, I'm coming to the top of the hour, and our brother is ready to step in on the top of the hour. My sister Sandra, closing comments, please.
Whether you're a motorist or a commuter in the UK, or you're a commuter in Jamaica, the challenges are just the same.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Brother Icon.
Mindful.
Yeah, man, peace and love for that. Yes, I really appreciate me at 12 in the morning. It's great to hear. Keep rising my people and pay attention to what's going on with these people.
Exactly. Absolutely. 100% there. Right then. Until our next time meeting.
Yes.
Have a peaceful time.
Yeah.
Have a peaceful time. Yes.
Peace be the journey.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care. He don't care for high-term places. Listed love is not a style. Not even an eternal smile. It's something he can't see. But baby don't care. Who knows? My baby just cares for me, and he just cares for me.